What's up, everybody? It's Rachel with Rachel's So-Called Life, and today we are going to be doing a nail tutorial video. I'm going to be using a method today called FEMI Beauty Method. She called it the Lazy Girl Method once upon a time, but people are kind of stealing her shit, so we're going to call it the FEMI Beauty Method. This girl's out here changing people's lives, and I'm somebody who's greatly benefited from it. So as you can see, my cuticles are really grown out. I'm trying to show you like how much of my tips have grown out here. And I'm just kind of using the cuticle nippers to just take off the extra length, but being careful not to trim below where my natural tip is, because sometimes the nail tip will fly off and it'll take a little bit of your nail with it, and that's not really what I wanted here. So just basically lobbing all these off. Those were some really cool ass little nail decorations that were sent to me. They're actually little middle fingers inside of that there. So really loved that set. I mean, that was probably one of my favorite sets. People thought that it was like opals, supposed to be opals, but it was actually little Mylar middle fingers. It was the cutest shit ever. I'm just going around now that I've clipped off the majority of the length, and any places that had lifted along my cuticle line, I'm just going to go ahead and clip those as well, because I'm not going to waste my time filing anything that's already very loose around my nail. I'm trying to take care, not to gouge my natural nail or anything else while I'm doing it. And sometimes you'll see me peeling. I'm not actually peeling product off my nail. That is actually the soft gel tip kind of peeling up off of the polygel that I used on that set. So I'm not being rough with my actual nail. I'm actually peeling. It's like a plastic cap. You're going to see later on in the video what I'm talking about. But yeah, just continuing to kind of mow down over the cuticle areas here. I've just, my nails aren't the best. And to be honest with you guys, I've told you in my last video that I have psoriasis. I have a lot of skin problems, and the psoriasis actually affects my nail beds. Fun, huh? Fun times? I know. I get all the cool stuff. So some of my nail beds actually look funny. They look odd. Some of them look like they're too far up on my nail bed, and that's why. Yet another reason why I like to wear nails, because they make me feel better. Like people be staring, so might as well give them something pretty to look at on that one. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through here and make my work as minimal as possible. Get rid of any of the hanging extra goodies. I knew that there was some hanging spots there. You'll know when you got hangers, because you'll rip every hair you ever thought about having out of your head when you're doing your hair, because all those little lifted pieces will grab your hair and rip it off. It looks rough what I'm doing. Like I said, not actually peeling product off the nail, just peeling like the top bit. See, I'm careful kind of going around my actual real nail there. And then boom, at some point I'm going to decide to kind of cut into the actual nail tip, because when you put on a new set, you don't really want to have a big free edge, which is the white part of your nail. You actually want to trim a lot of that free edge down. I personally don't like the look of my own natural nail tips poking through the bottom, so I just go ahead and clip them all down. Now I've got a big giant ass bottle of some pure acetone. You don't want to use a plastic bowl. You want to use like a nice bowl, either metal or ceramic, because this will eat through whatever you use. I'm going to pour a healthy amount in there, and this is the kit that we're going to be using today. It's called Vermal. I'm not even linking this shit. It looks gorgeous. Throughout this whole video, it's going to look really pretty, but I've never worked with a shittier set of polygel ever. I'm sorry if you own this product, my bad. I can work around it, okay? The swatches, beautiful. Purple sparkles, real pale purple pink, really sparkly, like magenta color, clear with sparkles. I was so freaking excited swatching this kit. I couldn't believe my own eyes. I was like, bitch, I'm about to have the most banging set of nails ever. Everything that I squeezed out, it squeezed out okay. It wasn't super hard to squeeze out, which you guys know if you work with polygel, they can be a real pain in the dick sometimes. Sorry. The next color was like a real light lilac with some shimmer, And the last color, oh yeah, this is the one I thought I was going to use for my whole set. This was like a magnet cat eye type of polygel, but girl, no, it didn't do. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Fair enough. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing, but I didn't see a lot happening there. That was the one I wanted to use. I thought this kit looked so good. The swatches looked amazing. Little did I know how much I would be on the struggle bus later on in this video. So the next thing that I do is I've actually removed all of that leftover polygel. So how do I do that? I just soaked it off, soak it for 15 minutes, file, soak it for 15 minutes, file, until, you know, you get down to your natural nail. Obviously, you don't want to use a super harsh file to do your natural nails. When I get closer to the natural nail, I use down to a file that's softer. So right now I'm actually using the cuticle pusher because it's very important. If you are going to waste all this time doing your nails, let's be honest, you do not want to have them grow out in like literally 4 days because you didn't take the time to really push your cuticles back. This is going to get you extra time with your nails. I know it does for me. My nails don't grow super duper fast. So after I've pushed all of the cuticle meat back, not uncomfortably, just comfortably, I'm going to go around the very perimeter of all of my nails where all that cuticle was sitting, even on the edges of the nail bed, like by the side of your finger, because these are the important places where your polygel is going to want to stick. And if there's cuticle meat or any kind of fibers there, it's not going to stick like it should. So this is an important, prep is so freaking important if you were wanting to do your own nails at home. So now I'm just rubbing it all down with alcohol, making sure to get rid of all of like the filing, gook and stuff like that. You can see my thumbnail looks funny. That's why I don't like my natural nails. Anyways, so I'm using just literally a little hand sanitizer that's for your purse. That little square thing, the pink thing, that's what that is. I'm putting some tape. It's shipping tape. And the reason why I'm using a brown shipping tape is because I used a clear one last time. You couldn't see the design. So these are the first box of tips that I have. They are the Après gel tips. You can see the box is pretty. The tips look great. The apex on these tips is actually really high. If you don't know what an apex is, you can Google it. The soft gel tips are my new favorite. They are the extra longs. These tips were not expensive on Amazon. They were very affordable. The apex is a lot smaller, the room that you have to put your product in, but it's worth it. Bitch, those are long and gorgeous, and I was so excited when I got those. Yes! So here is my Kiara Sky mini lamp that I have, and it kind of makes this method, this FEMI Beauty method, a little bit easier because you can slide your nail in there and kind of cook it. Anyways, I was watching True Blood while doing my nails. It's such a good show. You guys should watch it. I spend hours doing this shit. We might as well have something good to watch while we're doing it. So now that I have like filed everything down, gotten rid of all the cuticle meat, prepped my nails really good, now I'm going through and using a dehydrator. The dehydrator kind of just removes all like the natural oils in your nails and stuff like that, kind of gets your nail ready for it, preps it, gets it all good to go. You can see like where like the psoriasis kind of affects my nails. It's just kind of making my nails kind of recede a little bit. It's very sad. There's nothing I can do about it. It's a bummer, but I can do nails. So the next thing after all of this after all of the dehydrator that I put on my nails, we're going to do primer next. And primer actually has some sort of a substance in it that helps the polygel or the base coat and all that stuff to adhere to your actual nail tips. So I'm just going through, I'm very careful. When I'm spending all this time doing my nails, I do not want to do them and then literally 3 days later have a nail pop off. I take my time, make sure I cover all the parts of the nails. Make sure that you got the sides of your nail, not just the very top of it, you know? So we're all prepped, we're all dehydrated, and we have our primer on. Any of these things that, oh, I'm just kidding. This is the primer bit. Now I'm putting primer on my nails. But this is you can find any of these. Like usually if you order a polygel kit, they will come sometimes with a dehydrator and a primer. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe you have to order that stuff separately, but you definitely need it. That's for sure, if you're going to be doing your nails. So I thought I was being cute, I guess, filming this part and, you know, painting each one individually. Okay, now comes the base coat. This for sure comes in a lot of Makartt polygel kits. They'll usually send you a base coat and a top coat. If you're doing polygel on top of a natural nail, you're going to need a layer of base coat. Not a super thick layer, not a gross layer, a thin, good layer. And you want to get it all over. If you're not very good at painting your nails, you're going to struggle because you're going to miss spots and your adherence is not going to be great. But what are you going to do? I use like a little thingy here to make it easier for me to kind of see the surface of the nails that I was painting. But this is the last kind of prep step before we get to actually designing what our nails are going to look like. This FEMI Beauty method has cut my nail time from doing my nails completely in half. I still spend a good amount of time doing my nails. These nails right here probably took me 4 hours to complete, but it used to take me a 9-hour process to complete. And you're thinking, that's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. That's what I used to do. So you're going to cook them for, 30 to 60 seconds, depending on your UV light. I really suggest getting a nice UV light, ordering something off of Amazon that's got a little bit more battery power, because you do not, like I said, lots of time, you don't want to waste your time. So make sure you get a good UV lamp that's got good enough to cook it. Also, it's completely normal for when you put your base coat on and then you put your nails in the lamp to feel a little bit of heat. It's called a heat spike. It's a chemicals reaction inside the base coat. It kind of heats your nail bed up a little bit. If that happens, you can yank your hand out, no harm, no foul, and kind of ease it back in, and it will, the heat process won't, and kind of ease it back in. So then I'm going to get this second hand fully done with the base coat, and then we're going to pop that one in the lamp. Just another 30 seconds. We're going to get it nice and ready. All right. This footage is so jacked because I've never filmed a nail video before, and y'all, it was hard. It was really hard to keep what I was doing in the frame. So the first thing that I did to my nail tip when you saw me pick it up was I put a little bit of the dehydrator right where the nail's going to go on my nail, because I wanted to etch the surface a little bit. I squirted out a little squirt of that beautiful, look at how, no, it's not supposed to stick to your brush like that. Polygel usually moves around like a wad of bubble gum, and your brush, the slip solution that you use on it, or the alcohol that you use on it, should be a lot like oil, and it should be pushing a wad of bubble gum with an oil brush. That is not what happened with this product. It was such a struggle. So not only was I struggling with the product, but I was also filming a nail video for the first time, so I was just completely screwed. It does look pretty. Once you get it spread out, the camera was really picking up all the sparkles, but at the same time, it was really, really rough to work with. I did not appreciate it. And I actually tried the magnetic one first. I couldn't even spread it out on the nail. It was a no-go. So I don't recommend this kit. Yes, the nails, they turned out, they were wearable, but I would not waste my time with this anymore, because it made my polygel creating of my nails really, really long, and it doesn't need to be that long. So you can see that I'm just placing the product inside this soft gel nail tip. Whenever I get finished placing the product where I want it, which is a very thin layer across the whole soft gel tip, okay? You don't want a big thick layer because you're going to ruin your C-curve at the tip, okay? So just make sure that you got enough product, especially where your cuticle is going to be. Get it all over your fingers when you're lifting it off, because you don't have professional equipment. So yeah, place it on the nail. Now, if you're using a length like mine, you're going to be in trouble because the tip tries to fall off just from the sheer weight at the tip. So you may have to do some tricks like press, hold, press, hold, press, hold, press, hold. Oh, make sure it's straight. Very important. You don't want a crooked ass nail, because these ain't coming off once they cook. You're going to have to soak it off. So if you can get it to where it's not leaning off your nail, pop it into the Kira Sky cooker, and you see why that light helps. Now, I can hold the tip and cook the nail at the same time in that chiaroscuro if I need to. If I was using the other lamp, I can't fit both my hands inside that lamp to make sure the nail's where it's supposed to be. So that's why that little chiaroscuro nail lamp works and helps so well. Now, I was pretty unhappy with the coverage that this provided. So you can see on like my thumbnails that my nail tip was still pretty exposed even after the polygel. I should have known this, but didn't do anything about it. This is just me kind of working through. This is like the best footage that I could find for you guys. This is the best footage. I had no idea that when I was focused, I couldn't keep my shit in the frame. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a real struggle, but you can kind of see what I'm doing with the little paintbrush. The alcohol, it's all I have in the little dampen dish is alcohol. So all that nasty smell from doing your nails with acrylic, no more. I do not stink the house up anymore. I just use the polygel. It's so nice. So I got that tip finished, yanking it off. And we're gonna place it on the nail it goes on. Now you see how transparent it is? That's my least favorite part about. That's definitely a downfall of this polygel as well. If I would have thought about it, I probably would have put more Bojangles, like put a layer of base coat, then put some Mylar, decorations, and then laid the glitter over, because I didn't realize how transparent it's going to be. But once you get it kind of teeter-tottered in the right direction, make sure it's not falling completely off. See how I'm holding the end of the tip? Because if I didn't hold the end of the tip right here, the tip would have leaned forward and I would have had it like popping up off my finger and cooked that way. So that's the end result, you guys. This has not been filed. This has not been top coated. This is nothing. This is just straight soft gel tips. Now, normally you'll see like dual forms and you'll do this and then you'll pop the tip off. This is not what this is. The tip stays. It stays. So it makes my nails so much more sturdy, along with making them a million times faster. So because I was so dissatisfied with how transparent the sparkles were, I wanted to get a foil to put on top. So this is me just kind of, I've got, I think 3 or 4 boxes of foils, and I just wanted to see what do these flowers look like overlaying the glitter. And I realized that the glitter nails were a lot. It was just a lot of glitter. I liked this Mylar that had like the rainforest stuff over the top of it, but unfortunately when I laid it on top of my nail, I was like, yeah, you can't even notice how beautiful it is, and I didn't want to waste it because I just thought the design was that pretty. I was like, you're not even gonna be able to see it. So I went into my other box of foils and I was looking, and this one, no, it kind of clashes. It's too moody. And then I was like, oh, my little pansies. I thought it would be perfect because it would kind of make some bright spots in the nail, and it also wasn't going to compete necessarily with the sparkles. So I decided that's the one I'm going to use. I was measuring out like, damn, how much of this foil am I going to have to use for the length of my nail? So I think I decided to cut it long ways. Also, I'm looking here to see how I can fit the pansies to cover the nail, the exposed nail, you see? And I'm making sure that when I do place the foil, I'm placing it over some imperfections. So now that we're ready to actually put some decorations on top of our nail, we actually need to finish the nails. Unfortunately, your girl got COVID right in the middle of I was like suffering with symptoms as I was filming this video. Didn't know I had it yet. So I never even finished this set. I literally only did these two, my thumbs, and I finished the thumbs, and then the rest of my hands just stayed unfinished because I stayed sick and I didn't feel like doing it. But when you do finish your entire set and you're to this point, you want to file all your straight edges on your nails. Make sure your tips look good. This is minimal work, by the way. All the work has already been done by the form of the soft gel nail. Back in the day, I used to have to try to make that shape and then file it down to that actual shape, which is a lot more difficult. So the main parts on this actual soft gel nail that you use to file are around the cuticle, because those are the pieces that are going to be sticking up the most. Make sure your free edges are really straight along your sides, and then make sure your edges are good and straight. make sure they all match up. I'm going around here now with just a brick. I can't remember what you call these. A buffing block. And what it does is it takes all of the little harsh lines that were left by your nail file, and it smooths it all out. So it makes my nail tips, which look scary and square, it actually makes them very soft to the touch. So I don't hurt myself or my children or my animals or anything like that. So this is me measuring how much of the foil that I'm going to need to use, and trying to be organized. So I've already filed and buffed this nail. Now I'm going to put a layer of what's called foil glue. This is from Makartt. It goes on just like a nail polish. You can't see it hardly because I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry about that. I'm putting nail foil glue, goes on just like a polish, over my entire nail. And then I want to make sure to get it coated really well on the sides. You can see me turning you can't really see it, but I'm turning my nail and making sure I get the sides of my nail really well. There's nothing worse than going through the process of putting on a foil and then not having the foil when you get done. So I'm looking for my placement, making sure that the flowers cover the imperfections that need to be covered, laying it down very gently, smoothing out just the center bit, because we're trying to make something that's flat conform to something that's not flat in many places, and it's going to be hard. So I'm actually using a dab tool. You may be familiar with this. And I'm just scratching on, you remember those things that you would do on your wall as a kid and your mom was obsessed with it and it said eat, pray, love or whatever bullshit, and then you use the popsicle sticks to etch that shit on your wall? I don't know, maybe I'm talking out of turn, but same principle. You're just making sure to really press that design. It's like a tattoo. It wants to come off of the plastic, but if you do not apply enough pressure, it's not going to come off. Now, to check yourself, you can kind of lift up the plastic and kind of see, has my flower stuck all the way? If it's not, you can kind of gently lay it back down and keep working on it. If you rip the whole foil off, you're screwed. Well, you're not screwed, but you're going to have to start over. Anyways, I think it came out really well. All those pansies transferred beautifully, I thought. It looked really well. Now, you're going to have like some 3D edges on this because your transfers will have some imperfections. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lay a big glazy top coat right over the top of that just to seal in all of our beautiful little pansies. I thought they came out so pretty. This was one of the sets of nails that I got really excited about doing and then never finished. But then again, I've never gotten COVID in the middle of a set of nails before either, or trying to film it. I'll tell you, it was really difficult filming it, and I have a lot of new respect for a lot of the nail girls out there because being artistic is one thing. Being artistic really far away from what you're being artistic to is hard. I'm usually right up on this shit, and I was way off of it, so I was like, oh, hope it looks good. But I think it turned out really well. I actually did this to my other thumbnail as well. Then I'm just going around the free edge here, just making sure that everything looks nice and straight. I try to take really good care when I'm doing this because, like I said, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And people always ask me, like in my town, you know, who does your nails? Who does your nails? And when I tell them that I do my own nails, they look at me like I am a lying turd. Like they do not believe me at all. And I think that that's because, unfortunately, a lot of the work that you can get done on your nails where I live is not the best work. It's not their fault that it's not the best work, because if I was trying to churn out a customer in 30 to 45 minutes, my work would probably look like that too. And they've got a job to perform, right? So I have more hours to commit to my nails than a nail tech would. And I'm sure if the nail techs in my area had 4 hours to do my nails, they could do a wonderfully bang up job, just like, well, you know, not to toot my own horn or anything. I think it looks pretty good for an at-home job. But I'm just making sure to buff it out really nice, making sure that the foil glue lays down really nicely. I don't want a lot of pooling at the cuticle. You don't want your cuticle to pool up. It'll make a bump of product. So you can't tell, but I'm actually leaning my nail downwards. and I lifted it back up because I don't know what I'm doing. But it's better to lean your nail downwards while you're applying any kind of gel products, because if you lean your thumb upwards or backwards, your product will slow. It's like resin almost. Just imagine the resin is going to float back towards the cuticle, which is going to cause a bump, and it's also going to cause a place for your nails to be lifting from. You're creating a ledge there. And so anytime you want to apply your top coat or any kind of coat of gel polish to your nails, it's always good to give it a little decline. You don't want to incline your nail, you want to decline your nail. Let gravity work for you. So this is the second thumb, and we're just gonna, I want that big pansy over my exposed tip, and I think I nailed it right there. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. This is the set of nails that when I was in the doctor's office with COVID, I mean, the doctor would not stop looking at my hands. And he was like, I just got to ask, while we're talking about, you know, by the way, you've got COVID, me trying not to freak out, you know, well, why do you do your nails like that? And I said, well, yeah, I think it's a personal preference. I like it. I said, and I also do YouTube videos and people seem to really enjoy them. And he goes, that's a really fair answer. And I was like, what did you think I was going to say? Better to stab you with, my dear? I don't know. Whatever. People are tripping. I love a good curious mind, you know? So I think this set, if it would have been finished properly, would have been a really stunning set. I probably would have added tiny little dazzles, little jewels to the inside of the pansies to finish it off. When I pulled off my deal there, I noticed that one of my pansies didn't come all the way with it, but it's a glittery design, so you can't really tell, so it's fine. Then I'm going to put a layer of top coat right over on the end of this one, and this is the end, guys. You cook this, you top coat your other nails, you cook those, bing, bang, boom, bada bing, you got you a big, fine ass set of nails. One more thank you to FEMI Beauty for changing my life when it comes to trying to do my nails at home. This method is going to change the world. You're on fire, girl. You're on fire. Thank you. I feel like she just handed me the invention of fire. These are the easiest nails I've ever done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first nail tutorial video. Many more nail tutorial videos to come. If you liked this video, be sure and give it a like. We love you guys. Peace out. Later, taters. Bye.